Hey everybody, this is Kodak here, and I have gotten myself a new camera. This was my Christmas present this year from my folks. It was the one thing really on my list that I wanted to replace was my camera, so now I have a new camera. It's a Canon M200, and the big thing about it is that it can autofocus while I'm filming. That's, theoretically it can, yeah. It can autofocus while I'm filming, which is going to be very nice. I can now finally do those nice unboxings the same way all the other big YouTubers do it. That is going to be very nice. My old camera that I've been using all this time was a Canon 60D that was really starting to show its age. It's over a decade old and it's seen constant use. It's not going away by any means, but it is definitely going to be the backup. So, what better way to christen my my new camera than to talk about a game that came out at the end of the year?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Yes, unfortunately, at the end of the year this year, we got what I am probably going to consider the worst trading card game I have ever looked at. It is certainly not one that I am particularly fond of. This is the L.O.L. Surprise Dance-Off trading card game with this lovely little thing here. You scan for a chance to win NFTs. I've already gone off on NFTs before. I really don't want to go off on this again, but I guess I kind of have to. NFT stands for non-fungible token. This is despite the fact that somebody actually recently broke open the door on all of these tokens, and they are in fact not very safe at all. In fact, they never were safe because it doesn't matter how much blockchain there is. Blockchaining doesn't protect you from getting your name and password hacked. So I've already talked about NFTs. People try to say NFTs are this new thing. They are really they're the new bridge to sell, as I've said before. The reason that any of these NFTs have been said, oh, we've sold them for $10,000, it's because people are selling them to themselves. There's a fantastic video about how a similar thing has happened to the retro video game market that I'm sure you guys have heard of. Maybe I'll link it in the description, but there's a whole lot of shill bidding and a whole lot of money laundering where people are selling the things to themselves in order to get a like $10,000 sale on the record book. So yeah, this is not the way to sell a card game, Mark. But yeah, this was sitting at my local Walmart, although judging by the fact that it was like one of the only things that was still very full stocked in my Walmart that was otherwise basically bereft of anything to buy, tells me that nobody's really bitten on this game, which is good news. It gives me a lot of confidence because, like I said, this is probably the worst trading card game I have ever seen. And you've seen the things we've gone over. We've gone over things like Beast Clans, we've gone over things like Monster Tycoon, we've gone over some seriously bad games, but this one tops them all. And I will admit, a huge part of it is this, and another huge part of it is this, because this is a game being put out by a major company, and yet it is an absolute joke. So this is a 24 trading card pack. What this is this is basically like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Special Editions, only with no promo card inside. It's just a worse version of that, but that is where the badness begins. This was a thing that retailed for $10 for just 24 cards. That's worse than most games. So it's 8 card booster packs. I opened it on the bottom, that's right. So the wonders I will get to show you. So, got the survey here, that doesn't matter. Got our 3 packs. And we get a set of rules, which I will explain briefly once we get these cards open, and a playmat on here. Now, the goal of the game, it's another MGA game, and just like the last MGA game we looked at, which was Brat's Passion 40 Fever, it is another game about dancing. However, rather than having a dance party, it's instead a dance off. So it is at least a competitive sort of game, although they only give us a half mat in here with a checklist on the back, a separate rule book, but that's the only praise I'm going to give this thing, because what happens is you are supposed to build your dancers, you set up your babies, and what you do is they have a groove stat, and they try to beat the style stat of an opposing baby through a combination of items and all sorts of crazy things. So let's take a look in here. So one of the things that they really push is, oh my god, these cards these cards are absolutely awful. Like, they feel not just like cheap trading cards. I mean, you see like some of them have like the glitter and the effects on there, but no, the material these things are printed on is so incredibly shabby. It's not like cheap playing card or cheap trading card shabby. This is like punch out of the back of a Happy Meal shabby. Like, you can see like the cut marks on here. You can see like I can actually zoom it in because of this brand new camera. You can see like that little pip kind of right in the middle there, how that's like, those are manufacturing marks. These are like really flimsy, and some of them are, oh yeah, look at that, some of these are even completely off center. Like, they're supposed to be centered like this. It's not because of the type of card at all. These are like, this is an item and this is an item. These are literally just miscut cards that just look that terrible. So these are really lousy quality cards, even though they have like some of the fun things like the glitter and the foiling effects on there. The actual cards themselves are printed on such lousy material that it's clear to me that they just did not care to try to make this, you know, a decent or lasting game. And the biggest indicator of that is when you look on the back, there are, of course, the QR codes that are meant to be scanned to win the quote-unquote NFTs. Although I actually took it, they put these on the back, so unless you sleeve these cards, it is very easy to tell which card is which if you take a look at the QR codes, which is just bad design in general. So like I was saying, each character has a style stat and a groove stat, and what happens is you choose an opponent and you try to beat their style stat by picking up a random token off of here that counts 1 to 8. And they do it with pieces of paper, because I guess creating an 8-sided dice for this game would have been too much effort. But it is literally the same thing. You get numbers 1 through 8, and the first person to win 3 of these dance-offs wins. You, of course, have the characters who have the style and the groove stats. Wait, this one has a style of just 2, or I guess that's draw a card if you have a trophy, so that's supposed to give you some cycling. And then you have the item cards, which increase their stats, and the surprise cards, which do various things. But it's a very straightforward game, one that is based pretty much entirely on a quite literal roll of the dice. Although that's not the worst thing. The worst thing about these cards is that they are trying to make it into like a Hearthstone style game where you scan in the cards, but if you scan in the cards, you don't get the cards in the game. Like, they have like a little like browser based game where you're supposed to play this game, but the thing is, scanning the cards does not get you like the actual cards one-to-one into the program. Instead, they give you like a tiny amount of their premium currency, and their premium currency, like one pack of the cards in the video game costs you like 400 coins. These you're lucky to get 10 to 20 per card, and that's out of a booster pack that cost about $3.33 a piece. I mean, there's a small chance you'll unlock a card, but it's really ridiculously stingy, and it uses NFTs, and it's aimed at children. It's literally a microtransaction game aimed at children trying to push NFTs. I cannot get over just how disgusting that is. The cards are incredibly low quality. They were too cheap to put in an 8-sided dice. This, like I said, the combination of the NFTs with the fact that this is a game that's supposed to come from a large company that really should know better than to make a really crummy product is why I say that this is the worst TCG I have ever dealt with on this channel. Do not get this game, not even as a joke. And like I've said, the reason that companies have been grabbing NFTs like this is because, as far as they're concerned, there's like a South Park short that captured it perfectly, is the reason they're going for it is because it is a way for them to further fleece their customers without having to put in any actual effort. That is why they're gravitating towards NFTs. But if we keep applying pressure to these people and saying, hey, these are a bad idea, they're worthless, and they're a waste of energy, then maybe we can convince them to stop doing it. Like, a few companies have already been encouraged to back off on NFTs. If we can keep applying that pressure, then yes. Otherwise, like I said, it's literally a card game pushing both online microtransactions and NFTs to young children. And that I honestly find to be totally reprehensible. I don't care how rare any of these cards are, even the ones that have like the glitter on them. I don't care, because everything about this game is just wrong to me. It is the worst. I know this is not really the way we want to start the new year, but hey, if we start, here's the thing. If you start at rock bottom, there is nowhere to go but up. So hopefully the rest of the year will be nothing but a trajectory upwards. This is the worst friggin' game I've ever seen. No freaking thank you. And until next time, this is Kodak signing off.